New season! I mean, I can't not start with a pull, right? Wow, not lucky. First pulls of the new season. Alright, I don't have too long that I can probably do this. But I'm gonna try to get as far as I can on this nonsense. Honglu is my favorite of the male sinners. I believe I mentioned this before. He is well loved. Ignore the fact that I have 4 that are completely below the previous max level, but well loved. My favorite ID of his currently is Ting Tang. My first ID of his was actually K-Corp, so I'm actually kind of wanting to use a lot of his K-Corp. Even though, oh wait, we do have combat first. I was about to say, now that I'm jumping into this, it will probably be a bunch of talking for most of it and no combat for a while. But no, we are straight into it. Whew. Okay, I'm nervous. Is this my favorite character? And yes, I have read the book, but also I will say, I'm going to apologize out the gate. I am potentially going to get some pronunciations very wrong for Chinese names, because it's not a media I've consumed a lot of that I'll probably mispronunciate some things. Especially if I'm not hearing it well.
꽃이 져 우수수 하늘 가득 흩날릴 때.
Wow, this is some budget. Flowers wilt, petals fall, a drizzle of blossom skies blotting.
빛깔 잃고 향기 멎은들. 그
Colors fade, fragrance dies, but who shall mourn their passing?
꽃 갈퀴 손에 들고
To the garden I go, in hand a flower rake,
떨어진 꽃잎 밟을까
only to pace, lest crush the scattered blossoms I make.
그러니까 결국 이 풍진 세상.
Thus in this troubled world I breathe,
눈을 감지 않는다면
to shut my eyes
벗어날 도리가 없겠지.
is my sole reprieve. Okay, pausing for just a quick second. Part of Honglu's book, and Honglu's, I guess, full book is technically a series of books that were written and were, I believe, published after the original author's passing. The version I read is translated and adapted from the Chinese by Qi Chen Wang, Ti Xiao Hyun Xin, and Dream of the Red Chamber is the original. And adaptation was sort of a consolidation from Qi Chen Wang into one singular novel, versus, I believe, the initial original copy is multiple. So this is a more condensed version. To me, I liked it this way, and it was the only way I was actually going to finish a version of Dream of the Red Chamber within time, just due to life. The fact that it starts out with like a poem is one easy like call out, because Honglu, or Palyu, is a version I saw in this copy, is in a garden area of the manor, and they start a sort of a poetry club. And if I do remember, I will try to link of the copy, the version I read below.
얼마나 고단하고 여의치 않은 여정이었느냐.
It is the grandmother hierarchy of the Hongyuan. Oh, little Belle, you must have walked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home. Is this the grandmother?
험난하진 않았어요.
I wouldn't say I suffered much, grandmother. Oh my god, it is. Ooh, this is big. Grandmother is the matriarch. She controls kind of everything, though from what has been suggested in Limbus version, it may be more split to elders, so there may be a more like council setting of multiple elders within the family, or within the family lines. She might be the primary for one, but not another. I do just want to check. Okay, it cuts off a little bit of the text, but I read it anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't say I suffered much, grandmother. My days were always filled with new and interesting new things to see.
대체 뭐라고 이야기를 나누고 있는 거예요?
What are they talking about over there?
식탁이 너무 넓어서
You're sitting so far apart and I can hardly hear them. I mean, is this even a dining table? I can't even see who's sitting at the other end from here. Is there anything bothering you, dear guest? If this humble servant can help with any... Oh, there's something bothering me, alright. We're in the middle of a meal. Can you please stop? No, not at all. Nothing's bothering us at all. Everything's good.
그럼
Lady Wang?
친구분들을 소개시켜주겠니?
The only thing is this his direct mother? Like, my only other issue with some of these is some of the translations of the names is different than what I read, so that's why I'm probably going to have some trouble keeping track of all of them. There is something slightly helpful if there is a genealogical area, but I don't think it's structured as well. But yeah, I think I forgot to read her line because I am so... Granted, I think Lady Wang might be his mother in this, if this is how she's talking. Oh wait, there it is. Colonel Spring and Imperial Concubine. Pao Yu, son of Qi Yang and Miam Wing, hero of the novel. Okay. So she was a Wang, related to the other Wangs. Okay. Ah. This family tree in this book is not... The visual's not as helpful as I would have liked. Pao Yu, my boy, when will you introduce me to your new friends? Oh boy, I never know how to act in front of others' parents. Where should I look? Is this an appropriate size for a polite smile? I hope I don't come off as too smarmy.
아, 그럴 필요까지는 없어요. 내 집이다 여기시고 편하게 있으세요.
It's nothing to fuss over. Think of this as your own place and enjoy your time here.
아싸, 땡큐.
Woohoo, thank you.
라고 하기엔 집이
Whew, this place is so huge, I can hardly relax. I'm worried I might get lost. Going out for a cup of water.
아, 그건 걱정
Oh,
마세요.
don't worry. We have stray people shelters located all around the house for that. Our servants visit them once a month to collect anyone who's unfortunately gotten lost, if they're still alive, that is. Oh, I don't know if that's as comforting as you make it out to be. Oh, that has to be the funniest joke you've ever told. I wasn't joking, but I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway. I must ask Hong Lu for a spy, for I spy no other sibling of yours here. This is quite odd, for I had thought this to be a welcoming party for your return.
내 환영식이기도 하거든.
Hey, it's my welcoming party too.
그리고
Besides, what makes you think we'd ever want to see their stupid faces? Just to get mad.
같은 식탁에 앉아본
It's been like 10
것만
whole years since we even shared a meal together.
그리고
Oh, and don't even think about trying to chat me up. Did you already forget what I said earlier? There is nothing between us anymore. We're enemies. Did we initiate the conversation, though? I am simply so glad that my son, Balyu, has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight, and unharmed, too. So, dear Balyu, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again? Okay, you're already matching my opinion of the mother in the book. For a while, I didn't think much of the mother in the book, but then she just coddled him and treated him, and then certain situations happened, and she seemed caring, and then all of a sudden was, why did you live instead of my other son? And that's when the switch hit. And this is what it feels like a little bit already. Like she wants to get rid of him.
아직 정해진 건 없어요.
Nothing has been decided yet, Mother. I see. I am simply concerned that were your stay here to be prolonged, perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed. Do you not also agree, Venerable GMU? Indeed. Dear Balyu, our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right and fulfill your worth.
그럴게요.
Okay, grandmother.
어머니.
Throughout the entire familial discussion, Honglu's expression remained the same, in that tranquil, perpetual smile. Despite his return after years of wandering being met with the family's obvious push to make him leave as soon as possible. He stands unaffected as though he were expecting the gaudy yet hollow welcome. I mean, the matriarch seems to just be like, hey, you need to go fulfill your duty. The mother seems like she actively wants him to leave because she would rather him gone than near her. Based on just the expression. With his attitude being so passive, I had no choice but to watch as a bystander. A few hours ago. The pelican will be here soon. Pelican? So cool, that sure sounds like a fancy ride. Isn't that just super great? Oh yes, we were getting a pelican or whatever it's called to give us a ride all the way to the mansion. The usual comedy pair's desperate efforts to lighten the mood are particularly appreciated today, as tragically ineffective as they seem to be. Yes, the LCB and Jiashuan will be heading into the Dangguanyan, where one of the most prominent families of the H Corp reside. If they send a whole palanquin to pick us up, does Honglu's family already know that he'll be participating in the family hierarch war? No, it's unlikely that they are aware. After all, it can be assumed that the most likely reason that the company waited until the last minute to relay us this order was to minimize the chance of information leakage. Therefore, it would be correct to presume that the palanquin is here merely as a gesture of welcome for Honglu and Jiachuan's return. Which means that only the invited, Honglu, Jiachuan, and their factions can ride the palanquin, the Dongguan. Unfortunately, this means the LCCB, Vertilis, and Charon won't be able to join you on this journey. That's too bad. It would have been nice to see if we could all go together.
항상 이런 식이지.
Just as petty as expected from the seniors in our family.
여기 있는 사람들 다 재워도 티도
Would
안
it kill them to house a handful more people in that humongous park of a house? It's not like they'd notice the difference.
어머나, 그 말은 좀 감동인걸요?
Oh my, how touching. Looks like Miss Chuan thinks she'll miss us too.
방금 전에 시원하게 내
What a thing to say to my
곁에
face after that shameless
말하는
backstabbing.
꼴았으니까 애초에
I mean, do any of you even comprehend what it means to participate in the family hierarchy war?
우리가 가주심사라는
Do you even
거짓말
understand why we
넘치고
call it a war?
왜 대장이라고
When
말하고
it,
다니는
when the
건지
officials name it, they'll name for it as an evaluation?
너희는 이제부터
You're risking your lives by getting involved in this. Once you get in there, you'll be staked at every turn, stalked at every turn, earned by people looking to kill you,
당연히
including me.
객잔의 일을 벌써 잊었어.
Remember how Wei saved your life
그때는
back
웨이가 네
at the
목숨줄을
fake Kianzon?
지켜줬지만 이젠
Now imagine the same scenario, except this time it would be Wei who's there to kill you.
미리 유감이라는 말씀을 드리는 편이 좋겠습니다.
I must say ahead of time that this is a truly regrettable turn of events. I do not wish to have to fight any of you, but... Wei looked at us with an unfamiliar and cold, intense stare. Well, we feel very much the same way. So it looks like we're on the same page there.
반대로 말해서
It means that I'm also fair game. You could stab me in the back again. Literally this time. No, never. I wouldn't even dream to do something like that. Chuan ignored Sinclair, his anxious pleas, and looked straight towards Hong Lu.
마음을 바꿀.
This could be the last chance to change your mind, brother.
나는
I didn't invite you to join my faction with a light heart. Besides, it's the family hierarchy war. This isn't something you can just flippantly decide I do want to participate.
네가 그렇게 살아왔듯이
I know the life you've lived, Chuan.
나 역시도 어렸을
Chuan.
때부터
Yeah.
가주대전에 대한 이야기를 수도 없이 들으면서
I also grew up hearing those countless tales about the family hierarchy war just as you did.
그러니
So the weight we're feeling must be the same.
그래.
Right. So this is where our tenuous alliance really ends.
뭐 상관없어.
Well, not like I care. It did drag on a little too long for a temporary alliance forged out of convenience.
원래대로.
We're just going back to how things used to be, that's all.
그럼 태평이
That's fine by me. I think that's enough chit-chat with you then. Okay, if that's what you want.
그럼 아 시춘
Oh, Shituan.
뭐
What?
가문의 사람들에게는
Please don't tell the family that I'll be participating, will you?
당분간은
I was told to keep this a secret for now.
이제 와서 그런 부탁을
Tell me
한다고.
one reason I should do that
내가
favor
그걸
now.
들어줘야 할 이유.
For someone who supposedly doesn't care, Shituan appeared rather hurt as she took a moment to glare at Hong Lu, biting her lower lip. And suddenly strode right up to him.
이게 정말
Is this
오빠의
even your
선택인
call,
거죠?
brother?
아니면
Or are you
그냥
just following their
적절히
orders?
시키자는 것뿐이야.
Jia Shuchuan gestured toward the rest of us with her chin.
내가 가주대전에 참가하는
My participation in the family hierarchy war is already decided. If you're still curious to know why, then
시춘 너는 내
시춘,
선택이라는 것에
do you
중요한
believe that my choices carry any significant meaning?
아,
Oh, I see what's up. This crap again.
가주대전이 어떤
So you
의미인지
already know
알면서
what participating in the war
내가 왜
means, but
그런
you
걸 물어봤는지 모르겠다고?
but you just have no idea why I'd ever ask you something like that, huh?
대답은 됐어? 더 말해줄
Fine,
필요
looks like I
없겠네.
don't need to hear your reply. There's no point in trying with you anymore.
그런 얄팍하고 허튼 마음으로 어디까지 살아남을지 보는
At least I'll have
거지.
fun watching how far you get with that shallow, meaningless attitude of yours. Hey, wait. Sichuan appeared you're pretty distressed after that exchange. So I was about to say something when Pilot, who had been fiddling with the radio behind Sod, began shouting urgently. Manager Sod, the Pelican's been seen coming this way. I'd like to chill a bit today. Yesterday was too tough.
그럼 빨리 타러.
Let's head over so we can at least relax on the way there.
아니,
Nope,
지금 온 건 우리가
we're
먼저
taking this
탈게.
one.
어차피 양보해주는 거엔 도가
You
탔을
never think
거야.
twice about giving things up to others anyways, do you, brother? Huh, what the heck do you mean? Come on, let's do this fair and square. With, like, rock, paper, scissors. Wow, sure. Why not decide by the next harder art game with the game of rock, paper, scissors too? How's that? Each one gave us a wry grin before leaving. Wei followed her wordlessly.
겨우 좀 했더니
Sorry. Boy, and I thought we were finally making some friends out here.
저기 가마를 기다리고 있는 걸 보니 의뢰자가 말한 후보가 분명해.
Look, over there, there's a group waiting for a Pelican. One of them must be the candidate that the client told us about.
저쪽에서
Everyone, there's a group of hostile-looking people coming our way.
후보를 노리고 습격을 지시한 자가 사이와뿐은 아니었을 테지. 관리자님,
Shiyuha is unlikely to be the one who's going after the other candidates. Executive manager, we best take care of them before the next Pelican arrives. Yeah, what can we do, right? Okay, so this is a prequel fight to this dinner exchange.
위에서 당신을 관리자로 정한 데에는 합당한 이유가 있겠지.
깡창.
기대하고 있겠습니다.
자,
With how long these are going, I might only get through like 2 nodes. Unless some of these can start turning into more combat and less fighting. Or less talking. I was about to say, son, what?
합격장.
숨통 끊기.
I know y'all aren't at level cap anymore, but this was a level 45.
승객이 빼콩 한 방 먹었어.
보통 알아들을 수 없는 말투만 고치면 딱 좋겠어. 4번 수감자.
헤어내리.
대성공이야. 가령 신이야. 노래해볼까?
날 뛰어보라고.
우와. 가랑도 깜짝.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna win rate, because everyone's staggered, besides one of you.
숨통 끊기.
God, I do like the new ID.
죽어라.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가
가치
없지만
탈출했습니다. 끊겼습니다.
적합한 조치였습니다.
헤어내리. 아직 죽지 마라. 불쌍하게 울고주는
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 이 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
저기 있습니다. 제대로 들어갔습니다.
Nice, Grazer.
명령대로.
Hopefully that split. Usually win rate splits or damage.
가치 없어. 죽어.
씹는 맛이 있는데?
더 이상 식별되는 적은 없습니다.
No more signs of enemy reinforcements, executive manager.
그래도 첫날처럼 끝도 없이 몰려오진 않아서 다행이네요.
At least there's an end to him this time. The guys that attacked us when we first got here were endless.
그때는
Well, that's because we walked right into a trap then. Shallow, but still.
그보다
Anyway,
기분이 많이 상하신
Shichun, you're pretty hurt by that, didn't she?
그런데 이번 일은 시춘이가 서운해할만 했어.
Honestly, though, I don't get why she feels so betrayed. Remember all those stories about Hong Lu's family we heard? Imagine you're one of their kids thinking that you finally found, like, a potential ally in your family, only for him to be pretty much backstab you in the last minute.
그러게요.
Yeah, right? It was really awkward for me too, even though I wasn't exactly involved. Saw chimed in nonchalantly as though it wasn't her who pulled the plug on our alliance at the last second. Anyways, where's our escort? I can't imagine that H Corp can't afford to send us guards with the pallet. No. If his family loved each other enough to send escorts for their safety, I doubt they'd be holding a cutthroat ceremony like the family hierarchy evaluations. It's a world where might makes right, where strong prey on the weak. People won't bat an eye even if one of the dozens of candidates is found dead in some ditch on the road. Oh, sorry, Hong Lu. I must have been running my mouth again without thinking about how that sounds. Someone usually stopped me before I got too far.
개념치 마세요.
Don't worry, you didn't say anything wrong.
저도 다른 집들은
It took me a while to realize that other families weren't like this, but
있는 그대로의 지금의
there is no reason
느낄 필요가
to be upset
없어요.
by the way things are.
좋아. 생동감이 살아있는 좋은 공간이.
It is the go with the flow attitude
이런 식이었으면
that
좋겠어.
the go with the flow, smile like nothing's wrong bit is something that feels more prevalent from the end of Hong Lu's book. And in Hong Lu's book, when that sparks, and I don't want to say too much because it could start spoiling things that happen later, but I think part of the spark is going to be, and I think it already is hinted of, his love interest dying. He goes, or in the book he originally goes into a more depressive state, but he gets out of it and then goes into a happy, act like everything's fine, and doesn't really give anything away. The only thing that's odd is he starts studying, which he was very carefree and not aggressively doing prior. And before then, he also goes to, and then after that state, after studying, goes to take his evaluation, leaving the house to do so. Gets essentially, I think, like a perfect score, or like the highest score ever, but also then disappears and never returns home. He had that break moment, he left, became this happy-go-lucky, everything's fine attitude person, left, and now is, instead of leaving to evaluation, he left, joined Limbus company, and is coming back to participate in the evaluation. What's that ominous metallic noise? The tolling of bells. Bells with the resonance unlike that of any other, normally marked by their clarity. The spell is muddled, as if it tolls an ill fortune on the horizon.
이 소리를
Well,
들으니까
that burst sure is resounding, and a reminder that I'm home again.
이 종소리는
It's the bell that tolls every once in a while.
소리랍니다.
You can hear its resonance from anywhere in Hongluan.
제적일이네요.
It's reconstructing day. Huh?
제적일이라는
But the
건
reconstructing day already... She trails off, unable to finish her sentence as a brutal scene unfolds behind us.
보여요?
Well, are you guys seeing this?
건물들이
The buildings are starting to shift. It was as HBO said, the buildings are all tethering to a complicated network of rails were either rising from or sinking into the earth.
이 근방에 있는 모든 것
Movement has been observed from every building in the vicinity. Everything is changing.
어젯밤에 작달막한
The localized shifting of structures we had observed yesterday night were not as sweeping as this.
밤중에 보셨던 건
As you saw last night, must have been a premonition of the reconstructing day,
알맞은 위치로 조금
nudging some buildings to their position for a smoother overall redistribution of space.
제대로 된 시작은
Now this is the real deal. Huh?
그게 전조
The whole mess was just a premonition?
지금의 홍원보다도
It's a remnant of an old H-Corp that was here long ago, before the current Hongwon. This structure has been here for a while, so we can't quite know the nature or the purpose of its singularity, but at this moment, they shift based on current H-Corp's reconstructing standards. The world's assembly shifts overnight, yet those who toiled and toiled have naught to fear. Is it not joyous to have a place to rest your feet tonight? To those who weren't availed of fortune, this is simply the reality to bear. Only choice is to retreat in silence, to accept your fate as one might. Await the coming month. Ponder how one might save their skin. How many shall plummet today? How many shall remain? And how many shall remain? Hold on not to all things too tight, for you may lose sight of when to let go, and feign ignorance when you must take flight.
제조립의 말로는
The consequence of reassembling for the evicted is an endless plummet.
보고만 있기에는
What a terrible, distressing sight to behold, unable to do aught to help.
그것도
Is this another one of
특징인가요?
H-Corp's idiosyncrasies?
다른 둥지에도
I don't know.
특출난 가치가
Didn't other nests have their own measures for their one's wealth?
T사가
As
시간을
T-Corp's makes use of time as currency.
맞아요.
Exactly. H-Corp's measures wealth and currency is based on how much space a person owns, measured by a scale they call rooms.
소유한 건물의 면적이 곧 재산의 척도라는 말이구려.
It is the measure of one's space is the measure of one's wealth.
네. 그래서 한 달에 한 번
Exactly, so once every month, the worth of each person's labor and quality of their income are measured to determine how much space they are assigned.
잘 살고 있다가 갑자기
So they can just kick me out of my own home for no reason.
아니 뭔
What kind of ridiculous rule is that?
이곳에서 한 번도 나고 자란
Well, it
적
might
없는
appear
저희가
that way to
그렇게
outsiders
되겠지만
like us, but
오래전부터 존재했던
the calculations behind the redistributions are meticulously designed and have been here for a long time.
모두 자연스럽게
So it seems to me that everyone just accepts them as a natural part of their lives.
그럼 홍루 씨도 직접 보신 적이 있으세요?
Have you seen this happen in person too, Honglu?
이 제적이라는 것이
This restructuring day.
보았죠.
I have.
제 방에 있는 난간에서
Sometimes I'd watch the cityscape from behind the railings of my room.
아주 멀긴 했지만
It happened far, far away from me, but I could see it all very well. His expression remains tranquil and still as he calmly reminisces. It was like then when he was merely watching the featureless scenery pass him by.
제가 살았던 대관원은 제적 일에 별 관심이 없었어요.
Dangwon-yeon, my home, my old home, was never too concerned about the restructuring days. We get more room some days, but we never ever shrink.
그래서 저는 바라만 보고
So I've never been affected by these restructuring days. I've only ever witnessed them as they happen beneath me, high up in my room. You're fine. I doubt there was anything you could have done, but you just sat on your hands and watched and all this shite. Heathcliff trailed off, but I could see that he was gritting his teeth. Duh, another pelican swimming.
당신들을 태울 가마가 온 것 같네요.
And there's your ride. I think we've chatted enough, so let's get you guys going. This is the palanquin.
네.
Yep, looks like they sent us a palanquin large enough
가마를 보내주셨네요.
to comfortably seat a big crowd of people together. Young Master Gia Value and his 12 honored guests, is that correct? It's 13 to be exact. But I thought Sod wasn't invited. Wait, hold your horses. I wasn't told that young Master Value's faction was just 12 people. Upon hearing that, Sod began aggressively striding toward him, causing the pelican bear to shrink in fear. Slow down, lady.
12
We are 12 people. What's wrong?
설마 당신
I mean, don't tell me this thing looks like a normal contributing. Don't tell me this thing looks like a normal contributing member of a clan, do you? Huh? Sod suddenly grabbed my shoulder and presented me before the bear like I was some product. I mean, that's pretty unique head this one's got there. Don't think I've ever seen anything like it around here in Hongyeong. But isn't that just a prosthetic in the shape of a clock, I guess? But still.
생각을 좀 해보세요.
I mean, let me ask you something. Can you imagine why anyone in their right mind would stick a clock where their heads got to go, even if they were hurting for cash? And no way, ma'am. Never. There are way more versatile biomodifications available here in Hongkong than whatever hack job that hat job is. Nobody in their right mind would.
제 말이요.
Exactly.
대체
Right.
무슨 사연인지는
No
모르겠는데
idea what went down, but this fellow sure seems to have fallen on hard times. Too bad we live in a world where such misfortune can befallen on a soul like them. Boy, oh boy, looks like this one's got scammed. Nasty scam too, whatever backstreets they got that from. Must have been a real scoundrel who did this.
더군다나 시간도
And
안
look,
맞고
even the clock
제대로
isn't
된
on
의식도 없어.
time.
이것 봐요.
This
입이
poor
없어서
person is
째깍이를
badly,
소리 내는 것밖에
is
하실
barely
수밖에
conscious.
없다니까요.
Look at all they can do is make the weird ticking noises, or is it they don't even have a mouth. Those are some pretty darn hurtful things to say, but I decided not to take them at face value. It was pretty obvious what she was trying to do. Somebody tell Sod I'm getting dizzy. Good grief, you weren't kidding. Who could have done something so awful?
다행히도
It's a real blessing that young Master Baoyu's got such a kind-hearted soul. He simply couldn't walk past the timepiece emporium selling this human being. Look, there's some toy or tool. So he picked them up to get their head replaced with something proper. Hongwon's got more than enough resources for something like that, right? Oh well, you're not wrong there. It's really easy to swap out your whole body as long as you got cash to burn. What, a new head for me?
그렇죠?
Right?
그래서
See what I mean?
도련님의 세력은
So that's why they told us that the young Master Baoyu had only 12 people in this faction, including yours truly. Well, I see your point, but we can't just
곤란하시다는 건
let all of us on board, yes? Our young masters fully understands the moral conundrum you'd find yourself in, so we'd like to offer you this tiny, tiny token of appreciation. So I produced some bills from her pocket and smoothly slid them into the Pelican Bear's own. Oh man, oh lady, you really shouldn't do this. I really shouldn't. Oh, and another thing. I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but if a word of this gets out, things might get pretty messy for both of us. And that doesn't have to happen, does it? Indubitably, ma'am. I'm doing this purely out of the goodness of my heart, after all. Was a free ride for the downtrodden, eh? Seems to me the bloke's doing this purely out of interest in the fatness of his wallet. Alright, stop gossiping over there and get on board. Wait, are we leaving Pilot alone here? Pilot seemed to have noticed me staring in his direction. He stopped fidgeting with the radio and waved at us. Dad, don't worry about me, and have a safe trip over there. I got some stuff to handle on the outside. This design is more akin to an extravagant limousine than a Pelican. Oh look, a bottle of champagne. Can I check this? Of course not. Drinking while on mission is... Okay. With a quick clap, Saw promptly put an end to the hubbub of unexpectedly flashy appearance that the Pelican caused. I'm fading fast. My throat is already feeling torn. Okay. Her demeanor had shifted entirely into that of a calm, collected strategist, a far cry from the person who was chatting up the storm with the bear just a minute ago. Time to get to work, everyone.